You know what's wild? The people out here losing their minds over the Trump's big beautiful bill haven't even read the big beautiful bill. It's 870 pages long, 870, and I guarantee you most of the loudest voices on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram haven't read a single page, not one. They're screaming about losing Medicaid, losing housing, losing benefits, but haven't opened the document and they saw one out of context post from a fellow freeloader and ran with it like a gospel. And let me just say this, everybody deserves health care. Okay, objectively, yes. And that doesn't mean everybody deserves to live off of Medicaid. Generationally without lifting a finger. And this ain't Canada. This is the United States of America. Medicaid was designed for the elderly and the disabled, not for your 22-year-old TikTok famous cousin living at home with mom and collecting EBT, aka food stamps, while by buying seafood hauls. Come on now. The free ride train has come to a screeching halt. You want universal health care? Respectfully, you can pack your bags and head north. I hear Montreal has a great weather for about 10 minutes in the summer. But anyway, let's break it down. You can still get Medicaid, but if you're able bodied and not a senior, you need to work. A job, a shift, contribute. Radical, I know. Same with SNAP benefits. If you got 2 years, 2 years to get it together. Section 8, same. It's not a family heirloom. It's something you hand down like grandma's pearls. And that's why people are mad. Let's just be honest. It's not that Trump is taking something away that was yours. It's the gravy train is getting shut down and now it's time to cook your own meal. The truth is, you weren't entitled to it forever. You got used to it. Taxpayers, the ones who actually go to work, clock in, grind all day, have been footing the bill for people who don't even attempt to work. And that's what this bill is fixing. And the best part, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. Let that sink in. If you ever worked in the food service, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You bust your tail all night, get $100 and $150 in tips, and Uncle Sam comes snatching $60 before you even get home. That's done now. Finish your tips, is yours. You stay out late at your job to cover a shift and finally hit 50 hours or your 40-hour work week, which is the standard. Overtime is tax free now. Servers, bartenders, warehouse workers, this is for you. This isn't a handout. This is the relief for the working class, not the sitting class. But anyway, don't hear it from me. Let's check out this clip.
The people crashing out over the big beautiful bill haven't even read the big beautiful bill. It's 870 pages. Did you read it? No. There's a certain group of people who just want to pick out pieces like the Medicaid part, talking about everybody deserves health care. Yeah, everybody does deserve health care. But Medicaid is not a universal program. This isn't Canada. Universal health care is in Canada. You can go move there if you want universal health care. But in the United States, Medicaid was a government program for seniors and people who were disabled. Your whole family shouldn't be on Medicaid. Your whole family shouldn't be on Section 8. The free train, the free loading train, has come to an end. Read the big, beautiful bill, all 870 pages, before you jump on here crying about what Trump's doing. You can get Medicaid if you're not disabled or if you're not a senior. You just have to have a work requirement. You can get EBT and SNAP benefits, but you can only get it for 2 years. You can get a Section 8 voucher for 2 years. Not you, your kid, your kid's kids, your grandma, your auntie. That's not what it is. That's why you're really mad. Tell the truth. Because we already know. Because all that free shit that you've been getting hasn't been free. Taxpayers have been paying for it. You know, the ones who work. The ones who have barely any food in their refrigerators while you guys do food hauls from Walmart talking about you got $3,000 in food stamps.
Facts.
You have to get a job now. Or
Not to mention that even at times they have so much food stamps that the simple fact is they will sell it off in exchange for cash to help somebody in a way, a form of helping somebody like it's theirs, but really it's taxpayer funded So they call themselves acting like they doing the taxpayer. Somebody in their family, because I have seen it. Somebody in a family member knows somebody who has EBT, and the ones that's in their family that work and not on EBT or not on food stamps, they don't qualify. They bust their behinds. They have little food in the refrigerator. Someone else in the family that does qualify for EBT by sitting on their behind say, "Here, I'll do you a favor. You could use my EBT card," and they'll do, for example, they'll give them $200 in food stamps, and the family members that work that don't qualify for food stamps, they will give them $100 in exchange for $200 in food stamps. And the one that's sitting on their behind in the family that qualifies for the food stamps because they're not working, act like they're doing the ones that get off their butt and actually clock in and fund the EBT, which is by their taxes, which is the working class in the family. Doing it's like they doing them a favor. They felt like they doing them a favor when the ones that's busting they behind is actually funding them for they be able to have food stamps in the first place. It's mind blowing to me that the entitled ones are the ones that think they're doing the working class ones a favor. But I digress. Let's continue. I've
If you
seen
want
this
your
before.
whole family on Medicaid, go to Canada because there's some really great things in the 870 pages of that big beautiful bill. So one of them is no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. So when you get your job and you work overtime, it won't be taxed like it is now. Do y'all know how much they tax overtime? Like 50%. That's gone away. All of the servers in the world who get like shit tips, you won't have to be taxed on them anymore. So maybe you'll bring home more money. I think that's a win. And for all of the people who are buying cars or have car loans that you probably don't want to pay back, there's not going to be any more tax on the interest from your car loan. So where is that he's taking the Medicaid and he's making tax breaks for the rich people? Read it. The other thing is Medicaid is for people who need Medicaid. It's not for you losers who are sitting at home making bullshit TikToks and then being mad because you're not making any money on it. You're providing no value.
Mm.
So, when you want to complain about Trump's big, beautiful bill and literally get on social media crying about your Medicaid is gone, first of all, it hasn't even gone into effect. So, stop lying.
Mm.
That's first of all.
Tell them.
Second of all, if you're not a senior and you're not disabled, the big beautiful bill just tells you as it relates to Medicaid, you got to work a certain amount of hours. The Section 8 that you generationally hand down to your whole family is over. You can't do that anymore because there are American citizens who actually qualify for Medicaid and Section 8 and EBT and couldn't get it because you've been on it for 20 years. And for all of you people who are talking about, oh, what are we going to do? Well, you should be happy about the big, beautiful bill because now the illegal migrants can't get your shit. And maybe if the illegal migrants go back to their home, there'll be jobs for you to get. So you don't have to be at home begging for money, okay? So let me know down in the comments. Did you guys read the big, beautiful bill? Have you read all 870 pages, or are you just saying what everybody else is saying? The same group of people talking about crying that your Medicaid is gone. Like well-bodied people, like
Mm-hmm.
strong people, not seniors, crying on this app because you don't get free shit anymore. Let me know down in the comments who's down for the big beautiful bill and who's making up shit and or not even reading it and have no idea what they're talking about. And don't get me started on alligator Alcatraz because I'm gonna make a whole video about that too. But let me know down in the comments. Are you for the big beautiful bill or are you one of the whiners and complainers? Did I miss something? Because I actually read it.
And I'll take it a step further. It's seniors that are going back to work more than the able-bodied ones that actually sitting there in Walmart. And I see them in Walmart on a daily basis. And the individuals that check your receipts and make sure you didn't steal no goods. The seniors are working more than the able-bodied ones, and they're younger. And the program is for seniors. Mind blowing to me. That's how you know it's messed up. But anyway, I want you guys to check this out, and I want to expand on it because before we get to this clip, I want to expand on the clip that we just watched. And just think about it. For all the individuals financing $70,000 cars, you had no business buying in the first place. Yeah. But interest on car loans, no more taxes either. You're welcome. Because the simple fact is, I understand. I understand that we all need cars. And at the end of the day, um, we may not be able to buy one outright. And we trying to figure it out. We all trying to figure it out. So again, where exactly is the bill only helping the rich, like she said? Because I missed that part. But of course, here it comes from the far left. screaming about genocide and fascism and drag queens and distress. And this is the clip of a woman on Unhinged on Instagram. Looked like she was possessed by a TikTok demon, going off about how this bill was part of the war on queer, trans, black, disabled, fat, formerly incarcerated, undocumented people. Ma'am, you left out left handed people who sneeze on Wednesdays. Calm down. You don't need a sociology degree to know when someone's trying to turn reality into a performance art, is what I'm trying to get to. And what we're watching isn't politics, it's spiritual warfare. It's good versus evil at this point. It's truth versus delusion. But don't take my word for it. Check out what she had to say.
Clear. And I need y'all to hear me like our lives depend on it, because they do. We are not in a political debate. We are in a war, not a metaphorical one, not a symbolic one, but a strategic, well-funded, policy-backed, legally armed war for the soul of this country in the bodies of every person that don't fit the mold of a straight, cis, Christian, white man. And the wildest part is half of y'all still don't see it. You're playing checkers on a chessboard that's already been cleared. You think that they're just coming for trans folks, for queer kids, for immigrants, for poor people. No, baby, they are coming for order, and they're bringing chaos as a battering ram. White men, the most coddled demographic in American history, have finally realized that they are no longer the majority numerically, and so now they're using power, policy, and platforms to cling to what they can't reclaim, which is control. They've decided that they can't run the show, and so they'll burn the whole damn theater down. And the gag is they told us. They told us who they were when they showed up in Charlottesville with tiki torches and khakis, when they stormed the Capitol in broad daylight. They banned books, rewriting the ones they left behind, outlawing truth, targeting teachers, sterilizing trans care, gagging free speech, gutting Medicaid, criminalizing being poor, being black, being alive. And while they are passing laws, we're posting memes. Y'all keep waiting for the moment to get bad enough. The moment was Roe. The moment was George Floyd. The moment was Post. The moment was Trayvon, was Uvalid, was Obergefell being threatened. It was Tennessee banning drag. It was Florida erasing history. It was Texas legalizing bounty hunts on uteruses. It was Alabama writing segregation back into the books with a fresh coat of Christian nationalism. It was Trump staying quiet and screaming at the same time. And it was us arguing over which identity would lead the resistance while the fascists were halfway through their takeover. I am not here to play with y'all. I am not here to say vote, and that I hope that you remember to vote in November. I am here to say mobilize or get mowed the down. Because while we're dissecting microaggressions, they're orchestrating genocide in suits and ties. And if that feels extreme to say, then you haven't been paying attention. This country is on fire, and instead of water, most of y'all brought vibes. White supremacy doesn't need a new plan. It's using the same playbook that it always had. Divide, distract, dominate. And what are we doing? Sitting in silos playing the oppression Olympics, letting respectability politics babysit our rage. And that ends today. I don't care if you're gay, bi, trans, poor, disabled, undocumented, formerly incarcerated, fat, femme, sex working, devout, disillusioned, or just trying to make it through the next week. If you are not white, cis, straight, or Christian and a man with inherited wealth or generational impunity, you are on the list. And if you think for 1 second that aligning yourself with whiteness, with maleness, with neutrality will save you, baby, you are building the gallows with your silence. So let's get honest. You want to know why they're winning? It's because they unify in fear. You want to know why we keep losing? It's because we fracture in ego. The right builds armies and the left builds hashtags. This is your clarion call. If you were wondering where the revolution is, it's wherever you are standing. If you were wondering what to do, start where you are. Call your lawmakers. Shut down your boardrooms. Go and fund black and queer and trans-led organizations. Walk out, sit in, raise hell, and do it now, because when they come knocking for the next person, don't you dare act surprised that there's nobody left to answer the door for you. If it gets you fired, let it. If it finally makes them mad enough to see you, let it. Because, baby, if we don't act, we are not surviving. We are surrendering. And I don't know about y'all, but I wasn't born to die quietly. I was born to be a problem. So let's become a problem that they can't solve together.
Well, let's be clear. Christians, white or black, male or female, are the number one threat to this progressive hellscape. That's what they believe. If you love this country, love your family, and don't want your 5-year-old reading sexually explicit material in kindergarten, you are the enemy. And this is the sentiment of the people and what people voted for. 7, 8 million people voted for this because the simple fact is, what about individuals who are Christians or faith based or have their religion and they have the schools basically seen as indoctrination camps to their religion? But the simple fact is, their child is getting taught gender ideology rather than academics, and they feel as though why they don't let the child who is not fully developed, when they become developed enough and mature enough to make that decision on their own, but not the school to teach that or bring that into their mind at that such a young age when it comes to being a toddler. And they're still trying to figure it out, learning right from wrong, which can be very conflicting and confusing as a growing up adult, because we know kids are the most pure, angelic individuals on this earth. However, that's why Donald Trump said school choice, right? Because if you don't like it, then you can go to another school, private or whatever the case may be, that you feel as though is the best for your child. Not control just because you have to go to a certain school in your district because you live in that district, right? And look, they don't even hide it anymore. They say it with their whole chest. If you're white, cis, Christian male, you are the problem. That's what she said. That's what I got from this video. Newsflash. The problem is a godless ideology that rejects truth, accountability, and work. That's the problem. And look, I don't care what color you are. I care about the truth, right? I care whether you're building or burning. I always love empowering people. I always say I would rather you not like me for the simple fact that I push you to be better than like me for the simple fact that you just feel as though I'm telling you whatever is comfortable, but you're not growing as a person when you met me or you was in a relationship with me, no matter if it's friend, significant other, whatever the case may be. And there is a whole lot of burning going on, metaphorically and literally. We got people tearing down statues, banning books that teach the Constitution while pushing books with pornographic content in elementary school libraries. And these, I have come across people and educators who have said these things, right? And if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm wrong. We just having a conversation, and I'm just taking this video and what she said and just having a conversation with you guys very objectively. And I'm always, open to being wrong. And when parents speak up, they're labeled extremists. I have seen parents at board meetings. I mean, really saying like, look, my child is a young lady, and leave that to us in our household. Teach my child the fundamental how to learn academically, not about gender ideology. So they look at it like, look, this is a clown world, right? And don't even get me started on the Biden's economy, because the man promised to bring costs down, and what happened? Groceries was up, gas was up, rent is through the roof. But sure, tell me again how Trump is ruining America, and Trump tariffs are finally putting American manufacturing back on track. Border security is actually a thing again, and the dollar is starting to mean something. And what did they say? Oh, it's political suicide. But don't take it from me, because guess what? Guess who said political suicide? Hakeem Jeffries. Check this out, man.
Leader Jeffries, I also want to talk to you about Zohran Mamdani, the Democratic nominee for mayor in New York City. CNN has new reporting that some progressives who empowered Mamdani to victory now want to primary you and other Democrats in New York City. The co-chair of the New York City's Democratic Socialists of America says he thinks you're picking fights, quote, with the left instead of focusing on fighting the right. His words. Asked whether Mamdani thinks those House incumbent challenges should happen, his press secretary told CNN he was declining to comment, at least for now. How do you respond?
I have no idea what these people are talking about. We are going to continue to focus our efforts, as we did on the House floor in connection with Donald Trump's one big ugly bill, on pushing back against the extremism that has been unleashed on the American people. It's clear to us as House Democrats, it's clear to us as members of the New York City delegation that the problem is Donald Trump and House Republicans, who have launched this unprecedented assault on the American way of life, an assault on health care. They're ripping food out of the mouths of children, veterans, and seniors. They're exploding the national debt. They're unleashing mass agents on law-abiding immigrant communities. It shouldn't be too difficult for some people to figure out who the problem is in the United States of America.
The Democratic leader, the minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, thanks as usual for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, you guys heard it. He never really answered. He never answered the question. He just pivoted and said Trump is the problem. Meanwhile, they're out here running literal democratic socialists and acting surprised when working class Americans don't vote for them. Surprise, regular people don't want communism with a side of drag brunch, right? Because the simple fact is, who are they talking about is what's this man name again? Um his name is, I forgot his name. Um what's his name? Sudan Mudami, right? That's his name, right? His name is Sudan is Mudami. Check out, because Sudan Mudami wants government ran stores. He wants free healthcare. He wants everything free. You know what I found out? People will vote for you when you give them something free. He's talking about freezing rent in New York. And he has won the primary as he continues to run the race to eventually, in his mind, be elected as mayor of New York. But they're asking Hakeem Jeffries the question of, will he endorse Sudan Mudami, because he won the district that Hakeem Jeffries covers. However, Hakeem Jeffries should be ashamed, in my opinion, because a man won your own district and you not even on the ground and involved in your own district, but having spoke to someone who won in your district. Let me know if I'm wrong, family. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments.
Zoran Mamdani came out of
Zoran Mamdani.
nowhere with less money, less
That's
fame,
the guy.
beat the Democratic establishment, beat Mario Cuomo. I should say Andrew Cuomo, son of Mario Cuomo, known in New York. Is that a good thing for the Democratic Party?
Well, he ran a tremendous race. He outworked the opposition. He out-communicated the opposition. He out-organized the opposition. And I think one of the things that was key about what he was able to do is that he ran directly at the issue of affordability. Across every age demographic, it's the number one issue in the city of New York. Now, he articulated a very provocative platform in that regard. I look forward to sitting down and talking to him about his plans to actually implement that platform to deal with some of the challenges that the communities that I face are dealing with in terms of gentrification and displacement, and a whole host of other issues that I would normally talk about with any Democratic nominee, and certainly we'll talk about with our particular Democratic nominee in the context of the mayoral race. I think one of the things that we'll continue to try to do at the national level is to lean in aggressively to Donald Trump's failure to address the high cost of living. He promised to lower costs on day one. Costs aren't going down.
Yep.
It's going up. Inflation is on the way up. Life remains far too expensive for the American people.
I got to tell
Democrats
you,
want to do something about it.
respectfully, I see the pivot. You know, you're good at this. That's how you got this job. But then I got to rephrase the question. You're not ready yet to say whether it's a good thing. You want to meet with him. You want to kick the tires. At this juncture, you're not ready to say that this turnout, this energy that he tapped in New York is good for the party yet.
Oh, no, listen. I mean, I think that when you can increase the electorate, particularly as it relates to parts of the electorate that came out in significant numbers, which
Basically, he wants to worry. Basically, he's worried about. Look, I don't think this guy. I ain't really rocking with him. But if he can up our chances to obviously gain control back, I'm all for it. That's what that sounds like to me. Let me know what you guys think. Now, and I just want to get to this last. Well, I have one more clip after this. Charlemagne the God. I don't agree with him a lot, but Charlemagne the guy who finally said what we've been thinking. If this bill is political suicide and they passed it anyway, they must know something we don't. Check it out, family.
If the GOP doesn't seem to be concerned about that, then what does that tell y'all, folks? The fight is probably already fixed when it comes to the midterm elections, you know, and 2028. So who knows? I just feel like, you know, if something is, you know, political suicide, if you're using that kind of language for a bill and you pass it anyway, then you know something that the rest of us don't know. Or you know something that the rest of us do know, and we just sitting around waiting for the inevitable to happen.
Exactly. It's called courage. It's called doing what's right even when it's unpopular. That's called being the leader. You want to know why Trump won 74 to 78, maybe more votes? It's because he said what people were already thinking. He said we weren't allowed to say it out loud, and that's why the media hates him, and that's why the elites fear him. Um, This is not about politics anymore. It's about saving the country for our kids, for your kids. Do you want your children to grow up in a world where truth is outlawed and lies are legislated? The big beautiful bill, it's not perfect, but it's a start. A big beautiful in some cases, middle finger to the welfare industrial complex, the censorship mafia, and that identify as a golden retriever crowd, right? And there's no when I say that, I mean identify as golden retrieval crowd as in the individuals who wants to oppress others that they have to identify as something else when they have the freedom is to identify what they want to as well. See, what I have come across in with this whole political thing is that when especially with the Democratic Party, if you don't agree with them, you get ousted. But the thing is, as a country, we should welcome differences and welcome different perspective to have the right dialogue that's productive for the best interest of America. And if you have one party, which is Democratic Party, or just one person that you talk to, let's say in your family, for example, because I always like to break it down from a childlike perspective, so it's simple. Let's say if you have one individual in your family, they identify as whatever they want to identify as, right? Democrat. They want to be, want to be a guy, want to be a girl, whatever the case may be. But if you don't agree with them and you just want to be your gender or you want to be a Republican, then it's like we shouldn't care about you. That's what I mean by identify as golden retriever. And that's not right. Right. And the whole thing with the whole welfare industrial complex is it was made for seniors. It was made for people with disabilities, not for able-bodied individuals to stay on it. And if those you still whining, get a job, pay taxes, raise your kids, go to church. I mean, stop crying, focus on your faith, exercise whatever you believe in to be the best individual and the best version of yourself for your communities and important to your communities. The free ride is over. Accountability is back. America first is back. And guess what? We're not going anywhere. Right? We're not accountability should always be the priority because if you have accountability, then you can have the right conversation because we can get to the root issue. Right. But I want you to say this last clip, which I think was phenomenal, of this guy who broke it down simply in regards of the matter when it comes to the big beautiful bill. So I have another clip right here that I want you guys to check out. With no further ado, 1 second, family. Let me see if I can bring it over. Let me see. Okay, let's try it this way. Check this out.
The big, beautiful bill has passed. President Trump made promises. President Trump kept his promises. Now you got a whole bunch of people upset, mad, angry, saying, oh my goodness, wait, see what's going to happen after they sign this bill. Wait is going to see what's going to happen. They said the same thing about President Trump doing the tariffs, saying, oh my goodness, all the prices of everything are going to go up through the roof. Well, guess what? Things are getting better based on President Trump's tariffs that he put in place. So stop with all the nonsense. You don't need to send me any messages telling me that, oh my goodness, this is going to be terrible for America. Where have you been for the last 4 years before President Trump? Every single thing that the Democrats did in this country was terrible. And for some reason, you want to continue down that path, which doesn't make a lick of sense. Talking about common sense, radical leftist lunatics don't have any sense at all. You don't have any. And I think you like being that way. Because President Trump said no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on Social Security, and they just signed it today. So tomorrow morning, according to President Trump, 9 a.m., he's going to sign the big, beautiful bill into law, and it's going to be a done deal. For all of you that are upset with President Trump for keeping his promises, shame on you. Shame on you. Why are you even in America if you hate America so much? Because this bill is America first. And no, it's not going to get rid of Medicare for millions of Americans, maybe illegals, and maybe people who was gaining the system. Probably going to remove it for them, rightfully so. So all of y'all, buckle up. America is about to explode with beautifulness.
All right, family. So let me know down in the comments. Do you actually read the bill? Or are you just parading the latest orange man bad soundbite from a going crazy fear mongering perspective? Let me know. Smash that like button, subscribe, and hey, keep the faith, stay positive, let the love supersede the hate, stay grounded, and I'll catch you in the next one. On that note, family, peace.